When people stop covering for the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. So by now you know that you're different than most other people. You're understanding that there are many different types of people. Some are toxic, some are narcissistic. Very few are empathetic or have a high level of emotional intelligence. And everybody else is in between. Wherever you are, whatever kind of person you are, you know who you are and you know what you're capable of. But I can assure you one thing. You did not know that narcissism existed. You did not know that you were different than most people. You didn't realize what empathy was. You didn't realize that you were targeted. You didn't know that another person could willingly, deliberately, intentionally, and on purpose try to infiltrate your life, turn it upside down, steal everything out from underneath you, discard you, wash, rinse, repeat with the next supply source. Now you're understanding that. You're learning a lot more about mindset, about energy, about empathy, about narcissism, about toxicity, about breaking the ties, specifically the 4 ties that connected, past tense, connected you to the narcissist. And those ties are exclusive to the emotional tie, the financial, the physical, and of course the spiritual tie. As you cut those ties, you get stronger. The stronger you get, the weaker the pull or the gravity of the narcissistic abusive cycle is on you. And the less pull it has on you, the less the narcissist matters to you. The less they matter to you, the more you realize that that relationship wasn't as bad as you thought it was. It was 1,000 times worse. Now, over the years, I've coined many phrases, many terms, many expressions, and a lot of them have caught on. The reason why I coined those phrases, expressions, and terms, and I'll jump into one real quickly, is because I was going through this cycle myself. If you go back in time and check out March 31st, 2021, I was broken. I was strong, but I was broken because 5 months, 2 days after the discard, that's when I picked up the camera and created my YouTube channel. The rest is history. But I didn't know what financial abuse was. I didn't know what gaslighting was, on and on. Now I do. Now I understand that the narcissist will throw anybody they can under the bus. They will also look to accumulate. They'll also look to accumulate, to conquer, to corral, and to trap people to do the bidding for them. Many of these people are trapped in the narcissistic fog. A lot of these people are subservient to the narcissist because they need the narcissist to pay bills or to pay tuition, or they need their job, or they need a roof over their head, whatever it would be. That's why any ties you have with a narcissist need to be cut in time, in your time, when you're ready. Now, all these things I'm sharing with you, when people stop covering for the narcissist, and this is taking place more and more every single moment on this planet, and it will continue to take place until narcissism is either eradicated or until it becomes so uncool to be around a narcissist that nobody wants anything to do with those people. Yeah, I use the uncool word. Am I human? Of course I am. Was I trapped in the cycle? You're damn right I was. Did I make it out? Yes, I did. Am I going to use a little bit softer lexicon going forward in videos every now and again? Sure, I can do that. Or I can speak higher level, whatever you would prefer me to do. The point is, uncool is a dumbed down, watered version of what is acceptable or what isn't. And what isn't cool? It's the narcissist. What isn't cool? Covering for a narcissist. What isn't cool? Making excuses for a narcissist. What isn't cool is being a flying monkey and knowing it. What isn't cool is targeting somebody and jumping on the bandwagon because there are more people on the bandwagon than there aren't on the bandwagon, and target somebody and try to rip them apart and manipulate them or have them doubt their worth or have them doubt their value, etc. And this is what has been going on since time began on this planet called Earth. Now, I'll throw one caveat in there that you must understand. You must be kind and patient with yourself and understand this part. When you were in the relationship and you were trapped and you were in the cycle, the narcissistic abusive cycle, the trauma bond, the devaluation stage, and more, you didn't know what was going on because you weren't taught this in school. Having said all those things, you were doing what I was doing. You were making excuses for the abuser. You were ignoring red flags. You were not trusting your instincts, your intuition, but you didn't know what was going on. You didn't realize that another person could be your worst enemy, your worst nightmare. You didn't realize that another person that you fell in love with and claimed that they loved you would turn out to be a person who was trying to destroy you from the inside out. So why I said all that is because when you don't know what you don't know, you're innocent, you're naive, you're vulnerable, you're broken, you're being trapped, you're being manipulated, you're being led down to a avenue called Destructionsville. And eventually you would have been, and you were, dropped off at the dead end of Destructionville. That's called your discard. So the reason I said that is because you didn't know back then what you know now. Now you do, or you're learning it. All the flying monkeys, all the enablers, all the people that covered for the narcissist to try to implode your life, a lot of those people knew what was going on. Did all of them know what was going on? Of course not. There's no way everyone knew what was happening, but a lot of them did. And what did they do? They said, oh, okay, strength in numbers. The new target is ABC. Oh, it's you? Okay, well, I'll just jump on there and I'll have you doubt yourself, or I'll report back to the narcissist, or I'll be spying on social. One of the most bogus things that the narcissist does, one of the most cowardly things, I should say, and there's another layman term for you, bogus and cool. I won't go overboard with that, but I'm just sharing those two things. One of the most toxic things that the narcissist does, because they don't want to get their fingers dirty many times, is they ask other people to spy on former targets or current targets. Now, why do you think the narcissist would do that? Well, number one, it's because the narcissist wants people doing their bidding for them. Number two, if somebody does something for the narcissist, now they're in bed with the narcissist. Not literally, but maybe literally. Who the hell knows these days? Yes, we're in a bizarre world. What I'm sharing with you is if the narcissist can lure or trap other people to do things that usually they wouldn't do that benefit the narcissist and that didn't benefit you, now they are in hot water like the narcissist was. And maybe those people have a conscience. I can't tell you. I don't know. Odds are they don't have a conscience. But whatever happened, what I'm sharing with you is the narcissist needs strength in numbers. They need an army of people. They had a full army enlisted trying to destroy your life, and guess what they did? You got it. They failed. They tried to knock you down, and they did it over and over and repeatedly. And you kept getting up and off the canvas and dusting yourself off by the bootstraps and healing. You didn't even know what you were doing, but you kept doing it. And guess what happened? Eventually, the discard, the real discard, took place, and you were left isolated, abandoned, alone. And all those people kept on covering for the narcissist. This is the reason why nobody knocked on your door post-narcissistic relationship. This is the reason why no one checked in on you. This is the reason why nobody was there for you when you were broken and trying to figure out what narcissism was. It's because a lot of those people didn't want you to heal. Yeah, tough pill to swallow, but it's true. Other people couldn't because they didn't want to become the next target. And other people were oblivious. And that is, truth be told, that's a pretty big group. But anyway you look at it, the people that were covering for the narcissist, the one you're considering, I can assure you right now, some of those people have switched sides. When I say switch sides, what I mean is this. The narcissist used to have an army of people covering for them. Think about the workplace bully. Who and or what is the workplace bully? This is the best example I can come up with, and it probably affected you whether you know it or not. Workplace bully / narcissistic boss is a person that is in bed, again, figuratively, but it could be literally, with the boss or with the owner, and they can do no wrong. As a matter of fact, they have a very long leash, and it would take a monumental insurrection for them to be demoted or fired. Another thing, HR is in the back pocket of the narcissist no matter what you think. And if you work in HR, thank you for working in HR. I'm sure you did a great job. I'm sharing my experiences. Doesn't mean you have to agree. But then the third and most important thing is you need to understand the narcissistic boss, workplace bully, they have people doing things for them. Everyone does things for them, but it has to report back to that person. And then everybody gets zero credit. And everybody doesn't get the pay raise. And everyone has to stay late on weekends and work. And everyone gets hung up on. And while all this is going on, the narcissistic boss / workplace bully, what are they doing? They're out surfing, jet skiing, getting manis, getting petties, and then punching in every once in a while and acting like they're doing their job when they're not. This is how people get through the system. Why? Because the systems, plural, are broken. They're not cracked. They're not fractured. They're broken. And guess what? Now people are beginning to realize that the voice they have is meant to be used. You see, the narcissist didn't want you to use your voice, just like they didn't want me to use my voice. But we are growing in numbers. We are becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and we are realizing that we are stronger than we know, and we are growing in numbers. And I'm referring to people who were trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle, who are out and who are healing or who have healed. The stronger we get, the collective consciousness of the planet, the weaker the narcissist gets, because that's the way the law of the universe works. And when that happens, and it's taking place right now, the law of the universe again is this, that fewer people will cover for the narcissist. And that's probably what you're either seeing right now or you will very soon. Again, it doesn't have to be exclusive to a romantic relationship or to the workplace bully/narcissistic boss. Could be your friend, could be your sibling, could be your roommate, could be the person you get the coffee from down the corner. I don't know who it is, but what I'm sharing with you is that the narcissist days are limited, they're numbered, and very few people are covering for the narcissist anymore or any longer or will in the future. Think about something right now. Just think about you, your life, and I'm doing this exercise as I'm creating it free-flowing with you here in the beautiful Carolina woods, but think about your life. When you were with the narcissist, you thought everything was great. You thought things were going really well. But that's how it appeared to other people. But behind the scenes, you knew that something was wrong. What were you doing? Again, I already shared this with you at the 4-minute mark of this video. You were covering for the narcissist because you didn't know what you know now. Wasn't your fault, wasn't my fault. Once you found out what narcissism was and you found that needle in a haystack and you cracked the code, then you realize, wait a minute, I'm not covering for the narcissist. I'm not covering for anybody. Are you out of your mind? I know my truth. And guess what? Nobody was there to knock on my door and help me out. No one was there to support me. Now, you can pause there, which is what I'm doing right now as I'm dialing in my emotions. Think about something. What you could do or what you could have done, and I could have easily, and I didn't, and I won't, and I never will. You could have shouted from the rooftops, this person's a raging narcissist. They ruined my life. They stole my money. They cheated on me. They did all these things. But did you do that? No, you didn't do that. Why? Because the truth will set you free. Other higher powers are watching. A human being calling out the narcissist isn't going to do much good. As a matter of fact, truth of the matter is it'll probably put a bigger bullseye on your back or a bigger target on your back, which is why I suggest strongly to take the high road, do the right thing, to not cover for the narcissist or narcissist plural or anyone at all who is toxic or anyone who isn't doing things that are above board, but also to understand that the narcissist days are limited, they're numbered. The clock is ticking, and the narcissist knows this, and fewer people are covering for the narcissist in the workplace, in the household, in friend groups, at the gym, in universities, on and on and on, because too many people, way too many people in this day and age are seeing the signs of toxicity. They now know what gaslighting is. These are even people who haven't been through cycles. They know what gaslighting is in layman's terms. They're learning what financial abuse is or to watch their money. They now know that dating apps are a toxic cesspool for narcissism. And if you are a narcissist on a dating app, wow, have you sunk to a new all-time low. Nice work, narcissists. But the narcissist has nowhere else to run to, nowhere else to hide. Once the educated empath becomes activated, like I have and you have, you realize that life is short and you don't have any time going forward to give any energy or attention to toxicity. That's how I live my life. That's what you should be doing. Again, the healing path, you must remember, it's not linear. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. In your time, you will heal when you utilize the tools that are provided for you with each and every video, when you understand that fewer and fewer people will be covering for the narcissist. And that is the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the ball bounces. That's one of the laws of the universe that has now been unleashed and dusted off. It was written in all the old tomes hundreds, thousands of years ago. And guess what? In this year, the year we're in, 2026, that dust on that old tome, by the way, a tome is a book, an old book for you people that don't know what it is. The tome's been dusted off. Picture you dust off the book, you scrape off the dust, you open it to whatever page, and it says, yes, this is the beginning of the end for the narcissist. Yes, the educated empath is rising. Yes, more and more people are becoming awakened and aware. Yes, very, very few people are covering for the narcissists, plural, any longer. And yes, more and more people who were abused, manipulated, tricked, trapped, and taken advantage of have voices. And our voices are beginning to become louder and louder and louder. And the narcissist voice is beginning to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all. You are not alone. Remember that. And understand a few things. When you were in the relationship, you were covering for the narcissist because you didn't know what narcissism was. I did the same thing. When you know what it is, what narcissism is, you're out and you've healed or you're healing, Now you realize that there are flying monkeys, there are enablers, there are also people that you perhaps want to help right now, but you can't. You're unable to because they're trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle, just like when you were trapped. Remember, when you were trapped, nobody could have told you to get out of that. You could have listened to the words, but you would have thought something different because most likely you were in the trauma bond, you were in the narcissistic fog, and you definitely were being devalued. But now you're out. You can see things clearly. You can see things really clearly. And the clearer you see things, the more you realize that not only is everything not how it appears to be in this planet called Earth, but that you were covering for the abuser, but that was a different period of time because you didn't know. Now you also realize, this is the most important part, that there are people that cover for the person you're considering because they're toxic themselves and they get off on it. They get a thrill about destroying people's lives. This is entertainment for them. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's disgusting. Yes, it's abhorrent. And yes, it's real. That's why you need to close the chapter of the book on these people, not look backwards, continue to get as far away from them as you possibly can, continue to elevate, ascend, heal, and get as far away from them as you possibly can. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Bye.